Hey guys, this is Will from EmpowerTraders.com. Today guys, I'm going to be doing some analysis on the US indices and other indexes. Let's jump ahead and take a look at the S&P 500. As you guys may saw in my last video, we're currently trading this nice channel trend here guys, since breakout in November of 2020. As you can see, we're held many touches, touch here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we held the support line 6 times. We can zoom in closer. What I'd like to point out, which is I think the most important line to keep an eye on right now in S&P, is this yellow resistance line right here, guys. So if you look back here in March, we managed to break. In April we broke up above this resistance line, which we've been struggling to break above. Since March, we finally broke above it. We trade up in this channel for a while, but then of course the bears jump back in, pushing us all the way down to test the bottom end of the trend channel here. And since then, guys, we've been trading below this resistance level. As you guys can see here, we again here, and as we speak right now, we are actually trying to break above this level. Also, let's zoom in, get a little closer. As you guys can see, it looks like we've been, clearly we've been trading sideways since July 25th. As you can see here, although this might be a little skewed to the upside, nevertheless, it's obviously that we're trading sideways. So what's next? Obviously, there are a few scenarios. We could, one, obviously break above this movement, come all the way up here, test this resistance level here. And obviously, when we get to this level, guys, there are two main scenarios. We will go up even high, go up, test the top end there, or we get rejected, so we come back down. So that's the bull case scenario. The bears, we could actually reject the support. This resistance right here at 44,016. We can come back down here. We may go back up and then replay this scenario here, or we may come back down, and in these two we could either break below that, just break and break to the downside to test this blue support here, and we could actually go even lower and test this green line here. So that's how we're looking on the S&P 500. There's not many, at least right now, a lot of news coming out. There is a lot of earnings coming out this week, and I'll show you guys. But definitely, if any big bearish move, in my opinion, or even bullish, most likely going to be sparked by the Fed. The way they're going to tamper, when they're going to tamper, I think is definitely what the market is focusing on right now. But the current, how the market is reacting, especially with last week, with the Fed message last week on how the market's reacting, to me, it tells me that the market is not worried right now. And what that tells me is that's most likely because the market believes the Fed won't come back until at least 2023. What's going to be interesting is, what if it becomes more and more obvious that the Fed will potentially start cutting back in, late 2022. If that's the case, the market, we might see, some taper tantrum, some correction. But until then, guys, the market doesn't seem too concerned. So I would definitely keep a close eye on the Fed. Messages are coming out, and also earnings for sure, but definitely the Fed is the most important factor. There's a lot of people out there also talking about the Delta variant spreading like wildfire. You have to understand this, Delta variants, yes, it's wreaking havoc across the world, but you also can't forget that in December, when the market was, when I think the COVID cases were all-time high, right? Actually, let me check. I am curious. So back in December and January, guys, you can see here, cases were, all-time high. It was scary, It was scary for all of us. And if you look, we actually broke out in November, and we continued to make new highs despite, clearly on paper, the economy is just not doing well at all. And, people are dying, people are in hospitals, terrible, terrible time. But yet the market seems to completely ignore that. Continues to make new all-time highs during this period. So the argument that the Delta variant could cause a correction is possible. It's there. But in my opinion, the counter argument to that is, much stronger. Anyways, let's take a look at the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq also seems to be trading in upward channel trend. Obviously not as on point as the S&P 500, but nevertheless we can see that price is trend to the upside, skewed to the upside. This line, obviously, just like the S&P, this is the main resistance level for the Nasdaq. You guys want to keep your eye on. If we do manage to break this line here, obviously interesting. But again, what I'm really focused on is what happens when we start trading at the top end of the channel here at around 15,460 to about 15,600. So what happens when we get above here? Will we get rejected like here? Back in Feb, and also here we could get rejected here also. We saw a pretty steep sell-off, rejecting from a similar area we're at right now, so that's also possible also. So let's see what happens. But again, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens when we do start testing this resistance level, and more importantly this level here. Will we get rejected, or will we see a bullish breakout? And of course, the Dow Jones. I think the Dow Jones is the most interesting of the indexes right now. For one, unlike the S&P and the Nasdaq, we are not skewed to the upside. We can see clearly that since May we've been trading sideways. But to me, what's interesting is that we managed to break above this resistance level here at 34,770, and we went all the way here on, and you can see, I know you guys can, maybe a little hard to see here, but on the 26th right there, we made a new close at an all-time high. Actually, I think the 29th would be high. Nevertheless, we managed to set new close here in July. So we had, closes at all-time high in July, but as bullish as that is, as you guys can see, we are still trading in really narrow range, guys. Very interesting here. Could this, this consolidation, could this be, a bullish flag forming? Potentially. It's obviously, definitely getting me a little excited here, guys. And obviously, the fact that we've been consolidating this narrow range for a while means that volatility has fallen. If you look at the ATR, you can see here we're falling back down quite a bit since this, sell-off here. Haven't moved much at all, really. Although we have not fallen as low to these levels in June or even these levels here. But nevertheless, let's look at the rate of change. Another way of looking at, rate of change. Whoops. And for those of you guys who don't understand rate of change, it usually means that when you're in the middle, it means that there's low volatility. Nothing's really happening. If we move to the upside, means there's a lot of volatility or momentum to the upside, or if we move to downside, like as you guys see, this pretty fast move to the downside here. Obviously, that's going to register a pretty big spike. But as you guys can see here, since June 22nd, we've just been trading sideways. We haven't moved much, so volatility is low. And for those of you guys who trade the market, when volatility is low, usually, volatility always comes back. And, sometimes it comes back and, like, I'm back in a big way. And, you guys can see this move here. Here we've been trading. And also, this is important. Also, we could be trading sideways for a while. Don't forget that. Although, yes, this is skewed to the upside, but volatility was really low for a while. And we saw a return of volatility. You guys see here. Big sell-off. See how big this was, actually. I'm curious. Pretty nasty, especially for a more modest ETF like the Dow Jones. 5% sell-off. So let's see what happens, guys. We could be trading sideways for a while. But given the current structure of this pattern, it looks like a bullish flag. So I do expect volatility to return soon, whether that's to the upside or downside, we will have to see. But to me, it does seem quite bullish. We're setting up for, looks like a bull flag. We could be potentially setting up for a move higher for the Dow Jones. Let's take a look at the Russell. As you guys can see here, the Russell, just like the Dow Jones, also trading sideways for a while. Not as interesting. We're pretty much right in the middle. We could go up more, go downwards. Nothing really interesting for the Russell 2000 right now, in my opinion. Now let's take a look at some of the hype stocks. Obviously, there's no indexes for hype stock. Well, I guess the Nasdaq is closest, but that's more kind of tech, kind of more like a tech, tech index. So for hype stocks, I think the best one is either ARK or this one here, XITK, another good one also. So if you guys want to look at, if you guys want to track hype stocks, I do recommend ARK and XITK. XITK, as you can see here, they have a pretty, it's pretty good correlation between these two ETF. And so I therefore use these two as, a way to track the hype stocks like Tesla, Teladoc, and all the other hype names. So as you guys can see here, we obviously had a pretty big sell-off in the hype stocks in February. We've been trading sideways pretty much since March. We came all the way down here to test this support here, and we're now back up. I'm seeing some traders are saying this could be a breakout here. I'm still a little hesitant because, yes, there is a breakout here, but if you look, we got rejected here, at 130, corresponding with these two touches here. So breakout, I don't know, guys. I would want to see another confirmation, and that obviously is to break above 130. If we do break above 130, guys, that does look like a breakout to me, and we're going to be looking pretty bullish in my opinion. But nevertheless, we see touches and touches here. It could be an interesting setup. If you look at XITK, we also see similar. We also got rejected here, just like the ARK. And you can also kind of draw this, kind of breakout somewhat. With breakout, retest, maybe resume off. And again, just like the ARK ETF, I want to see a breakup above 228 for XITK. If you look at Tesla, just really quickly, because they all kind of have the same pattern. Also, Tesla seems to be doing the same thing, although the breakout pattern looks a bit better here, guys. As you guys can see here, move back up, touch. Maybe we'll be setting off to break. Again, just like we are also, there's a resistance line there. We could be, be preparing for a setup to the upside if we manage to break the 700 level. Lastly, guys, I do want to take a look at the oil market really quickly, guys. As you can see here, we are at some support levels. So in my opinion, I am a swing trader, so these level here looks somewhat attractive to me. There is a gap there though, so that's also interesting. We may come all the way down to fill in that gap. But the reason why I like to point this out is because we have a lot of energy earnings coming out this week. We have, let's see here, ConocoPhillips there. ConocoPhillips, and I think we have Dominion Energy coming on Friday. So we have a lot of energy. There's probably more in here that I just can't find, but see energy. There's probably a few more here, but this week there's a lot of energy stocks earnings. EOG, that's a big one also. Let's see what else. Devon Energy, that's also another big one. Occidental, that's also another big one. So as you can see here, Phillips 66, yes. So as you guys clearly see, it's going to be a big week for the oil industry, and let's see what happens. I actually have a long entry on Gush. We have, you can see here, I enter, I think the trade at 36.5, which is around here. I saw that price came back down, testing the support here, so I entered the trade at 36.5. So let's see what happened, guys. It looks like we're holding right now, but let's see, we might break below. If I have stop loss as 56, so let's see if we break 56, or we're gonna have another swing potentially to the upside. Anyway, guys, lastly, before I end the video, let's go through the economic calendar really quickly so that you guys can see what is happening this week. And apply. Okay, we do have SIM coming out. Manufacturing on Monday. Let's see what else. Employment change, that's going to be interesting on Friday. Factory orders. So anyways, not too much happening, but Monday we do have ISM coming out, and Friday that's going to be really important. Obviously, employment change, that's going to be, the markets definitely keep an eye on this. Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and let me know if there's any other type of analysis. I'm thinking maybe to do some sector analysis. Right now, I'm doing just a general analysis on the crypto market and the U.S. indices, but I am considering to do other types, maybe some stock, but also maybe sector analysis as well.